Good evening and welcome to the 18th edition of the LIVRESQ Empower Your Teaching webinar. I'm very happy to be here and I want to thank you for your participation, whether you're watching this, whether you've joined us on Zoom, whether you're watching us on Facebook, or if you're watching this recording of this on YouTube or Facebook. As always, I invite you to ask questions. If you're on Zoom, you can turn on your microphone or you can leave your questions in chat. And if you are watching a recording of this, then by all means, feel free to leave a comment and we will get back to you as soon as possible, and usually quite soon. I haven't really introduced myself. I don't know if I've been doing this lately, introducing myself, I mean. My name is Raluca Bolocan. I am a trainer for LIVRESQ and I'm also an instructional designer. And I work at the company Ascendia, which is the Romanian company behind LIVRESQ. And LIVRESQ, if you've never been here before, if you've never seen our tool, is a tool that allows you to create learning content, digital learning content, lessons, ebooks, digital manuals, everything that has to do with learning and digital. And it's essentially a content creator. An app that is 100% online that allows you to create materials for students generally, because it is aimed at education. And that's why we sort of call this webinar Empower Your Teaching, because we're mainly talking to teachers, but we're also talking to any other type of content creators, learning content or e-learning content creators like instructional designers, e-learning authors. It is a tool that allows you to create courses from A to Z. And what I'm here to talk to you about today is a new capability of LIVRESQ. We've always promised to keep using AI and to enhance the use of AI within the app, and we are continuing to do this. And as you can see from the title, the exciting development now is that you can finally generate pictures using AI straight from LIVRESQ. So just to recap, you can generate an entire project and we'll actually start like that using AI. We can now generate images. You can generate text. Another new aspect of the whole AI integration in LIVRESQ is the fact that you now have access to ChatGPT 4.0. So the latest version of ChatGPT is now integrated within LIVRESQ when we generate text or entire lessons. So we have AI for project or for lesson generation. We have AI for text generation, image generation, and also video generation. So we're going to look at all of these tonight. And this is also very beginner friendly because you'll see that I'll begin by generating an entire project. So essentially from the beginning. And in order to do that, I will start sharing my screen straight to the LIVRESQ author. Okay. Just a sec. I'll stop the share and I will restart it. Just a minute. Here we go. One more second so I can rearrange everything, the chat and the participants for Zoom. I'm also following the Facebook chat, so if you feel like messaging on Facebook, then I'm here and I can see your messages. All right, so this is what the author looks like. This is what it looks like when you have a LIVRESQ account and you want to edit your lessons. This is the home page. One thing I should mention from the very beginning is that in order to access anything to do with AI, you need to have a pro license. So you need to have the paid version of LIVRESQ. You can use LIVRESQ for free. There are a lot of cool functions that are available to free users who don't want to pay for the premium. But anything to do with AI is for pro users only. You can see that I have a pro license because it says so up here. And if you start looking at the differences on our website, there are some others like the ability to share projects with other creators. But we're here to talk about AI, and I promised you that I will also show you how to build a project using an AI. So how to start from scratch using AI. And in order to start a new project, we are going to go to this tab here, Get Started, click on Create New, and then click on Project. Essentially, if you've never seen LIVRESQ before, we divide the materials we build in LIVRESQ into categories, that we have projects, we have sections, and we have resources. What this means is that inside a project, so inside of my course or my lesson, I can have one or more sections. And inside each of these sections is where I add my resources. And resources means content. We've decided to call them resources, however, because it's not just text and images. It can also be any type of interactive content like video, quizzes, tabs, accordions. We have different types of ways to present content, and also apps from outside of LIVRESQ that can be embedded. And if you look back through our videos, if it's your first time here, then you'll see that generally we've discussed, I think almost all, actually, I'm quite sure that we've discussed all of the resources you can add, apart from a few new ones that have just come out and that we will discuss in a future webinar. All right, so in order to start a new project using AI, we're going to go on Create New Project and then select Project AI. And once we've selected this, once we've selected this, then we have this form that we can fill in that allows the platform, or lets the platform know about what we want the lesson to be. So for instance, let's just use this. I want a lesson titled Fruits and Vegetables. The basic time duration of the lesson is set to 15 minutes by the platform, but I can make it longer or shorter. This essentially means that it will provide content for a duration of 15 minutes or suggestions for content, and you'll see what I mean in a second. The subject of the lesson is generally biology. The age of my students, well, since this is about fruits and vegetables, I would keep it at around 10, 11. I think we can even go lower, but let's just leave it at 10. Again, you can either type in another age or use these arrows to increase the number or decrease the number. The tone is where you tell your platform whether you want your lesson to be, let's say, professional or funny or more friendly, or any other type of adjective you can think of for tone, just to give it a feel of what kind of text it will generate, because it will generate fillers of text that you can then edit, and we'll see in a second. Since this is a lesson for children, I'm not even happy. Let's say that I want the tone to be funny. I wanted to come up with jokes. The project language will leave at English, but we can create projects in a multitude of other languages. I always want to say all. I haven't yet been proven wrong. So this is Microsoft supported. I think it covers all languages. Then we need to add some keywords. And what these keywords will do is help the platform narrow down our subject and narrow down what our lesson will be about and what its structure will be like. So let's just say I can add maybe differences between fruits and vegetables. Also maybe examples. Uses in the kitchen, maybe? I'm just giving it something general so that maybe it can give us a few, um, some information about these aspects. The next step is to generate chapters. If I click generate chapters and I wait for a little bit, then the platform provides me with a series of chapters according to what I've just provided it with, according to the information that I've provided it with. So the first chapter is Introduction to Fruits and Vegetables. Then the first subchapter, what are fruits, what are vegetables? This number here is the duration in minutes, so how long it would take the student to go through this. Then we have differences between fruits and vegetables, botanical differences, and culinary differences. I think this is a bit complex for like a 10-year-old. So maybe we would go with general differences. 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 Consumption maybe, or food related. Differences. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. But differences in terms of related to food. Then examples and uses in the kitchen, as I asked it, examples of fruits and vegetables, uses in the kitchen. I would actually delete this entire chapter with its 2 subchapters, even if that leaves my lesson shorter. And then we have some conclusions and key fun facts, recap of key points, and then funny facts about fruits and vegetables. And if I'm comfortable with this layout, with this structure, then I can go ahead and generate my lesson. If I'm not, I can go back to the previous menu and input some more information, because maybe I've had an idea, or maybe I'm thinking of a different way to ask it to structure the lesson. And if I click generate lesson, then essentially I will be provided with a project with a single section. We're still developing this, so all projects built with AI look kind of similar, and you'll see in a second what I mean. It's regarding colors and sort of the graphic theme of the lessons is similar, because we only have one template that we're generating in at the moment, but we're going to implement more and more. And then what we're gonna see is how to edit the elements and how we can generate images, how we can generate more text, how we can maybe generate videos as well. This is taking a while because it's taking all of this information into account and working with AI in order to generate our lesson. And then we'll be able to open and edit all of the information we'll provide. I've chosen this topic mainly to just give you like a simple idea of what a very simple lesson can be. But in truth, I've been doing a lot of tests, and I've even asked it to create a lesson on 19th century British literature or even more complex subjects, and it can definitely create lessons about anything, or little courses about anything. So right now, because we've just created this project, we've opened, it automatically is opened. It's called Fruits and Vegetables. I'm in the Sections menu. I did mention at the beginning that a LIVRESQ project is comprised of one or more sections. And inside these sections is where we can find our resources, where we can find our content. The principle is that if we want to select something, we single click it. If we want to edit something, we double click it. So if I want to look inside this section, if I want to edit it, I'm going to double click it. And here we have it. This is the edit mode of the only section inside my project. This is what it looks like. With the resources it's added, the colors, no matter what you ask it to do, stay the same. That's what I mean by one template so far, but again, we're going to be adding more and more templates. This is what it generally looks like. We have the title. It's suggesting that we add an image, and whenever we add a new resource in LIVRESQ, there's a placeholder on the screen. Now, this is a basic placeholder image. If you hover the mouse, if you hover your cursor over the image, you'll see that it says image up here. This means that I can change it. It's just a placeholder image. Then we have a course overview with text, bits of text. I can edit everything on this page. A heading, I can edit the text of the heading as well. A video here, an accordion. This is what I mean by accordion. You click on the title and information is revealed. Another image, and basically all of this information that it's added. A little bit of everything, really. This is a lot of text that it was generated with AI for my lesson about the subject that I've just asked it to describe. So let's start at the beginning. When we want to edit something, I did mention that all we have to do is double click. If I want to edit my text, I double click and the text menu appears. Normally, if I want to edit an image, I will double click the image and I will enter the image editing mode. I know where I am because the platform always tells me where I am up here. So I'm in fruits and vegetables. In section number 1, this is my project. This is my section, and I'm editing image number 1. if I want to go back to my section, all I have to do is click its title. If I want to go back and edit the image, I will double click the image. And here I can change it by uploading a file or a stock photo, options that were already available. I can edit the image if I want to. So where's the AI? In order to access the AI image generation, I need to go back to my section and just select it using a single click. And then if you're familiar with how we can generate text in LIVRESQ using AI, you'll know that we have this AI enhancer panel down here. So we select the element we want to use AI on, in this case, our image, and then we click on AI enhancer. And this opens up to a place where we can enter a prompt, we can choose a style, and this basically will generate the image for us. So if I want to write a prompt, since the lesson is about fruits and vegetables, I want an image depicting fruits and vegetables clearly and realistically. This is my prompt. I'm going to generate. So that's the button down here that sends the prompt, or I can generate. And similarly with the text generation tool, I can, once the image is generated, click on use and it will integrate straight to my project. I didn't really go into style too much. I'm going to use this image. There's a time gate so that there aren't too many requests processed by the platform, so it doesn't get stuck. We're still working on that. This is a very new feature. So I'm gonna click on use. And once I click use, the image now appears inside my lesson. We have a broccoli here, we have carrots, we have oranges, we have all sorts of fruits. The styles are so this is DALL-E, this is the OpenAI image generator that you can access here, and you can choose from a multitude of styles according to maybe the graphical style of your lesson, or your style in general, or what you want your image to be. Me choosing this topic was sort of intentional because I thought it's really easy to generate images with fruits and vegetables, but it can literally be anything. I used to demonstrate this AI project a lot using a lesson on triangles, and I did that quite a bit. I tried to generate lessons. I did this test. And by the way, you're welcome to log in and do these tests yourself. I've tested generating images regarding triangles, and it can do that. As with anything AI, the more specific you are in your prompt, the better the result will be. And if you really want the image to be of a certain style, again, you can always select that style from this panel right here. So I've added an image. The possibility to edit, to generate text using AI works in the same way. You select, using one click, a text resource, and you can do two things with text and AI in LIVRESQ. One of them is rephrasing the text within a certain size, so either small, medium, all the way to large, which is between 2,000 and 6,000 characters. And you can also generate text, now using GPT-4o. And the process is very similar. You have to select the resource you want to operate with AI, input your prompt, it will appear there, and we're going to try it in a second for a text as well. So this is how easy it is. If I wanted to start from scratch, maybe if I'm in a new project, I can just add an image by dragging and dropping my image. Let's just add it here. From the left-hand side, I'm going to move it. It doesn't really look perfect, so I can add it wherever I want. And again, once I select it, I can go on AI Enhancer, write a prompt, and generate that image as well. If I select anything else that's not text or image, for instance, if I select this row, the AI Enhancer doesn't work. It says currently only available for text and image results. If I select, let's see, video, for video, it doesn't work like this. If I select an accordion, it doesn't work like this. If I select a cell, it doesn't work because this text resource is inside a cell. So I need to select the actual resource, and then this activates here. You can find it on the right-hand side under AI Enhancer. So under properties, we have some options here. You might remember me talking about bookmarks. I haven't really insisted on advanced styling and resources yet, maybe. But basically, AI Enhancer is right here. So again, I can add another prompt, maybe an image of a broccoli. No, let's say carrot and a watermelon. I could have said funny image, maybe I could have made them characters, but essentially this is how it works. We're gonna wait a bit. Now we have an image of a carrot and a watermelon in half and then in full. I didn't give it a lot of details. I didn't select style again, but I can click on use and I can integrate my image straight to LIVRESQ. If I wanted to do this on text, so pay attention that if you select a text resource that already has text in it and you ask it a question, when you click use, it will delete that text. So if I wanted to add something here, instead of change something that already is here, I'm going to do the same thing and take a text box from the content from the left-hand side and drag and drop it wherever I need it inside my lesson, inside my section. I will select it, go to AI Enhancer on the right-hand side and ask it a question. Maybe write a funny short joke about fruits and vegetables. The joke should be funny to a 10-year-old. Let's just say we want, let's give it a little bit more wiggle room. So instead of 200 to 300 characters, let's leave it at 500 to 700 characters. I'll send my query. It instantly provided me with a result. I can click use. And here is the joke it has given me. Why did the tomato turn red? Because it saw the salad dressing. I asked for a funny joke for a 10-year-old. I think it was okay. One very useful tool that we use a lot when we develop courses is the ability to duplicate any element in LIVRESQ. And this is because we saw when I added a new text box, it doesn't really look the same. It has different properties around here. The background doesn't look the same. So if you want the same properties, you can also duplicate an element. And you can duplicate it by selecting it using a single click and using the menu that appears up here. So if I click duplicate, it immediately provided me with another box of text that is exactly the same. But I can use this option to duplicate, or in this case, I'm going to delete it, on any element inside my project. So if I select not only a resource, so not only a text or a video, I can also select a cell. And if I click duplicate, then another cell with its contents will appear on the right-hand side. I can select a row, and if I click duplicate, the same row will duplicate below. And this sort of gave us, if you've never seen LIVRESQ before, essentially the components of the LIVRESQ section are rows, which will be one under the other, which will be arranged one underneath another for as long as you want your section to be. Inside rows, we have cells, and inside those cells is where we have the actual resources. So either the interactive content, the text, the images, the videos, the games, the apps, whatever you want to add. and in whatever way. But these will always be inside cells. And if we want to add multiple resources inside the cell, they will also be placed one underneath the other. One under the other, actually. While cells will be one next to each other according to the size of the screen. Because the reason why we have these elements inside LIVRESQ is because the content you design with LIVRESQ is responsive, which means that it automatically resizes and rearranges itself, regardless of what device you are viewing or your students are viewing your content on. And you can even simulate that in LIVRESQ. So if I wanted to see what my project looks like on a phone, for instance, I can go up here, click on simulate a phone, and you see now that my cells that were before one next to another were arranged one under the other so that it can all fit properly, and you can see it on a smaller screen, and you can read the information and look at the images on a smaller screen. So we've seen how AI works for images. We've seen how AI works for text. We've seen how AI works for the entire project if we wanted to create a lesson from scratch. Now, the next step and the other thing that I promised you is videos using AI. And in order to create a video using AI, we will go to a video resource or add a video resource to our project by dragging and dropping from the left-hand side, and we will double-click that video resource to edit it. So it's not the same. This won't work, but we will double-click. And there are currently 4 ways to add videos to a LIVRESQ project. The first, and I think most used by teachers especially, is to add a video from an address, from a video sharing platform like YouTube, maybe, or any other video sharing platform that allows embeds. This essentially embeds a video to your lesson. You can even select intervals, so you don't embed the entire video. Maybe you want the first minute and then the last 2 minutes, and it can do that automatically. We have a video on how to work with the video resource. Then you can also upload a video from your computer if you have something ready. You can select a stock video, and you can also generate a video using artificial intelligence. And so far, this is still in beta, as was the previous tools that I've provided, as were the previous tools that I've shown you, because so far we only have 3 characters, 2 of them in 2 different positions. And what we can do with these characters is add a text, and they will speak that text. We can't really, we only have 2 options for background so far as well, solid or transparent. But in the future, we plan to make this tool a really complex one that will allow you to change the background to maybe add information that is relevant to your content in the background. And I'm going to actually go back before we generate and take a little bit of the text from here. I'm gonna copy it. I used a left click and I clicked on copy, but you can also use your keyboard, go back to AI generated. I'm going to select an avatar, any avatar really. I'm going to paste my text here, a text that was written by AI as well. And here I can select the speed, which means how fast my avatar will speak. It's kind of an avatar. My character will speak. I can select a voice. If you want to hear a sample, I'll have to reshare because I don't think I shared with sound. Just a sec. You can hear a sample of the voice.
Pleased to meet you.
This is what it sounds like. We can keep Ava, but we have a lot of voices. It really depends on language. So we have voices for all languages. Some languages have more voices than the others, and English, of course, is the most popular one. You really have, and this is English US. You can do English on multiple accents, a lot of accents actually. So if we search for English here, You have Australian, Canadian, Great Britain, so British, Hong Kong English, or Irish English, Indian English, Kenyan, whatever. So you have a lot of accents that you can choose from. Some have more voices, others have fewer voices, but definitely a lot to choose from. And now if we click on generate, it takes a little bit. It did warn me that it takes a little bit. And what this lady, my character, will do is lip sync the text that I've just provided it with. Here we go. It didn't take so long. I can now play my video in here.
Welcome to the wonderful world of fruits and vegetables. If you think about it, fruits and vegetables are like the superheroes of the food world.
So it sounds interesting, and it is interesting at the moment. It will be even more interesting and even more exciting once we add gestures, breaks, maybe more characters, but it's still a really amazing tool. Something that will add new life to your lessons. Once I've generated everything, if I click use, the video will automatically be integrated. If I go back to my section, I can see this video. I'm just going to very fast delete my assistants. I don't need them since I'm here. By the way, this is the edit mode. So if you've never seen LIVRESQ before, this is not 100% what your project will look like in the end. If you want to see what it looks like, you have this view mode up here. And this little eye icon appears on all resources, all elements. If I click on a resource, I can preview it by using the eye icon. I just see it. I just see that resource. If I want to preview this row, for instance, I can click on preview for the row and it will show me this row. I want to move this image somewhere where it makes more sense, not here. Maybe here. Okay. So it looks a little bit more balanced. And if I want to preview my entire section, I will click on preview or view mode up here. And this is what it all looks like. There are some effects that were added, and we have another video detailing on how to add these, detailing how to add these effects. Because you see that text, different resources come in at different times, similar to PowerPoint, I guess, in this case. I can play my video.
Welcome to the
We've already played it. I've muted it, so I can speak over it. And this is essentially all the content that I've added. And as opposed to the editing mode, in view mode, I can actually interact with the content. In editing mode, obviously, if I single click it, I will select it. And if I double click it, then that's how I edit it. We have a lot of text here. I encourage you to play around with AI lesson generation and with text generation nowadays, especially since GPT 4.0. Video generation is a lot of fun as well, and especially image generation, because our main purpose is to make lesson creation a process that is easy and fast for you. We don't believe that AI will replace teachers, and we keep saying this in all of our meetings and webinars. And if you read through this text, you'll see exactly what I mean. It definitely needs some work and a little bit of tweaking, but it's a great starting point, really fast, and really amazing as help for teachers, which is what we're trying to achieve with LIVRESQ, to really give teachers a tool that they can use fast, that they can use easily without having to know how to code, for instance. And that's why I don't really go into advanced styling, for instance, which requires coding. I don't really go into sources and stuff like this. Because even though you can use it very easily, it's also a very complex tool. So if by all means, actually, you know programming and you're very good at building apps and very good at building websites, because these are essentially HTML5 websites focused on learning content, then you're welcome to play around and we are here to support you. Even with voice generation, with text to speech, there is a possibility to edit the code behind it to sort of play around with intonation, to play around with pronunciation, prosody, and elements like that. We have a question. Is it possible to change the assistant by AI? So for AI video generation, if this is the assistant you mean, we only have these three characters. So there are three ladies, this lady, and this lady. But for the second and the third ladies, we have two positions. I'll cancel this. For our assistant, what we call assistant or speech, the resource that you can drag and drop to your lesson. And if I select it, hold on, I need to go to properties. If I selected, this is what it looks like, but you can change this character. We have a video on how to change the character, on how to use it differently. You can write the content here, for instance, welcome. And then, so I've selected my speech, my avatar. And then what I can do with it is generate voices in the same way as it worked for the video, but this is for the assistant. And if you want more details on how to use this assistant here, I think it's an hour-long video where I've gone through all the possibilities and how you can change it and where to place it. But essentially, it allows you to generate voice. Since we have a little boy here, I'm going to go with a male voice.
Welcome.
It looks a bit mature, a very mature voice. And he looks like a little boy, but still, we have never touch a
Welcome.
book. So we have this assistant that appears wherever
Welcome.
I placed him. I can move him around. It cannot, I mean, you can generate text and paste it here with AI. It was featured, but I deleted it. Two of the instances were featured in the AI lesson, the project generator. And you can generate text to speech for the assistant and also change this character if you want to, if you need to add another character. I've even seen teachers adding pictures of themselves here and then recording their voice. So you can also do that. Please let me know if there are any other questions. Because basically I've shown you this new update that we're very excited about. And I've covered most of the things you can do for the with AI. So in order to change the image for the avatar, you can only do it from the project. So we need to go back. This is me clicking the title of the project. And we have a few menus here that are more general. So not just editing sections and editing content, but we can also edit the table of contents, preferences, metadata, statistics. In order to change the assistant or the image for the assistant, we'll go under assistants. We can have multiple assistants on a project. We can go into the default, double click, and we have animations here, but you can also add a GIF or any type of image, a static image, basically a JPEG or a PNG. It would be ideal for it to have a transparent background. In the default mode, you have two postures. So one is the action that the avatar performs or the instance that is performed when it's idle. And the second one, you see the little animation when it's speaking. You can delete one of these postures if, for instance, you only have one picture, if you have a static, if it's not an animation. And in order to change the character altogether, I'm going to click on Change Posture. Let me see if I have any assistance. I have some little dragons. Here we go. And basically I've now changed the character. It's a little bit big. You can make the picture smaller. The idea would be for the picture to be smaller. You saw it's a PNG file. This little target icon is where the speech bubble will start from. And you can move it around. If I decide that I have a different posture, and by the way, you can create these images, and this was generated by AI. You just need to ask for a transparent background. If I decide that I have a speaking instance of this dragon or of any character that you add, you can click on Add Item, and you can create another posture. Now, if I go back to my project, two sections, I double click my section in order to edit it. Now My avatar is this little dragon, not so little. It occupies quite a bit of the screen. It has the same voice. It did
Welcome.
automatically generate the voice, and I can move it around to wherever I want it to go. This isn't very well placed. I should have placed it more around its mouth, but it's up to you. So again, in order to change this character, you go into the project under assistants, you double click assistants or add another assistant if you want, and then change posture where you can add an image. This is a smaller one. Let's say the speech bubble starts from here. We go back to the project sections, double click the sections, and my avatar is now this little dragon with the speech bubble popping up around its mouth. So let me know if that was clear, I hope. I think that's what you wanted, to change the avatar itself, change the character. So again, it would be ideal for the image to be quite small. This is a bit big. It occupies quite a bit of the screen, and with a transparent background. I've seen teachers add just a round image of themselves as well. That works. All right. If there are no more questions, either here on Zoom or on Facebook, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to be here. We will meet again in 2 weeks' time, I think, at the same time on Zoom and on Facebook. And we will be covering next time more of the exciting new updates that have come to LIVRESQ that I haven't yet spoken about, just to give you a sort of a roadmap of what's coming. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time on Thursday. Thank you.